Okay, so this is gonna be the final type tier list that I do, because I did the other two. I did red and green, so this is the final one, which is blue. And yeah, man, this is probably gonna be the most like opinionated one, because blues, honestly, they're not too crazy, if that makes sense. Like, they are definitely the more underwhelming type in the game, because there's not a lot of blues that are used in PvP. A majority of the time you're going to see the same blue units used in PvP. So yeah, I guess we can just go ahead and get into the video then. So to start off, SS. Okay, so SS, I was debating not even putting an SS tier for this typing, but I don't think that'd be fair to me. I think Blue King is really, really good still. I think it's a phenomenal unit. I just, I don't know. I think because he has Petrify, he can cleanse, his AoE Shatter, right? And then his he's just good. He's just good. He's just good. He can be used on different teams. But I feel like he's not aged, but I feel like as time went by, like other units just kind of like replace him, if you get what I mean. Like Red King, kind of. Everyone runs Red King because Pierce team is such a dominant meta, and that's why Valenti's in SS, because she's the reason why Pierce teams are as good as they are, right? So that's why, or not Valenti, Lilia. That's why Lilia is in SS, because she like literally makes the Pierce team what it is. So that's why I have her in SS. Plus she has alt gauge removal. She can heal. She can remove buffs. She has a good AoE ultimate, which can deplete, or not deplete, decrease skill ranks and deplete ultimate gauge, right? And then she's good. She's good. But King, I feel like no one really runs him as often. They do run him still, but not as much as you think, because Red King. So but when you do face Blue King, he can be a little bit of an issue. But I don't think it'd be fair to me to like put him in S. I think he is SS for blue units, because he's still good, right? He can Petrify, cleanse again. He's really, really good. So I'll keep those two in SS. As far as the other units below, I really don't think they would be SS, and I'll explain. So I guess we'll start with Easton. Easton's amazing. She's like one of the best support types in the game. However, her AoE skill 1 is kind of like not that strong, if that makes sense. And plus, that's all the attack she has besides her ultimate skill. So she is a support unit. She has a buff that increases attack related stats, which is very, very good. However, I don't think that she's an SS, simply because like other than supporting like the team with the attack increase, there's not much else to her. Like, she can hit hard potentially with her ultimate. She is also exclusive, which hurts her a lot. Same thing with Lilia, but the thing is with Lilia, she can, like, she is ran on the Pierce team and she makes the Pierce team dominant. So that's where Easton kind of lacks. Plus, Lilia can heal, she can deplete all, and she just has a lot to her kit. Whereas Easton, she pretty much just supports. Like, that's pretty much all she does. And it's not a bad thing, but it does hurt her, because if she had, let's say if she was like Green Gouther and her support skill was her passive, and then she had like another skill too which attacked, I think then it could be another story. But as far as like her overall kit is, I think she's a solid S tier. I think the majority of the time you're only using her to support the team, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna leave her at S tier. Mai is amazing, but when Goddess Elizabeth comes out, I think she's gonna fall down to like A tier, because Goddess Elizabeth's shield is broken and it literally negates all amplifying effects for cards. So like charge, I believe, pierce, amplify, etc., right? It cancels it out, like completely negates it, because that's how broken her shield is. So for now, Mai is solid S tier. She can be amazing because of her AoE amplify, but then again, she could also not be amazing because of her AoE amplify. But the thing is, right, since Lost Vein exists, if you don't kill Lost Vein, he's gonna rank up, and then, you know, he's gonna do the damage. So that's you know, unfortunate thing about her is that her amplify is AoE at the moment, but it's okay. She also can deplete alt gauge, which is very good. She also has a self-sustaining amplify. When she moves her card and like ranks it up herself, she can get basic stat increase. Her ultimate increases her card rank, and then she gets another stack. She is good. She's really good. I don't think I'm gonna put her in SS though, because other than like pure damage, she's not really providing much. Again, she's another red Derriere in all honesty. Although I think for PvP she might be slightly. Is she? I don't want to say she's better than Derriere, but I think like you could make an argument that she could be. So Mai is amazing, but I think I'm gonna leave her at S. If you wanna like put her at SS, I would not like be against it at all. Like that's fine. She's a good, very good unit, but I think S tier is where she is mostly gonna be at. So okay, Demon Meliodas. So I know people are gonna be like, why isn't Demon Meliodas SS? The reason why is because Demon Meliodas kind of has counter hard body with like you got Red King on the back, and as good as Blue Demon Meliodas is, Rugal is just way better. In all honesty, he is way better. Blue Demon Meliodas does have weakness, but he doesn't really like. I don't know. He has Pierce, obviously, but that's pretty much all there is to this kit. Like he just Pierce, and you can corrode them to make his ultimate hit hard. But other than that, he's not really like all that crazy, if you guys understand what I mean. Like especially if you kill Lilia and you have Red King on your team, he's not really doing any damage, so that's where he falls short. But other than that, I mean, he's strong. He's strong, right? A lot of people run Blue Demon Meliodas a lot. I don't run Pierce team, so I mean, I myself don't really care for him all that much, besides like farming. But other than that, I don't really use him on PvP that often. If you want to put him in SS tier, I'm not against it. I just think that he really doesn't really have much other than his one Pierce card. So, yeah, I mean, he can be attack disabled too, so I guess that helps him. But, I mean, it is, like, it's eh. So, yeah. So then we got, Zeldris, right? Zeldris can be SS, but I just kept him in S tier because he's a meme and he can't crit. So I don't know, man. He can crit with the right build, with the right teammates, etc, etc. But let's say if you pull him as a new beginning player, you're gonna have trouble with this unit. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong. I love the boy Zeldris, and his commandment is amazing. You can be debuffed, but just move a card and it completely like negates it. So really, really good. His damage can be like a bit like, oh my god, like just ludicrous. So I mean, I'm keeping him in S tier because like most of the time people aren't gonna have equipment for him, and they're not gonna have the right team, and you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep him at S tier, although he can be SS tier. So it's just he's good. He's good. We'll leave it at that. He's good. All right, so A tier. Blue Giant Diane. She's solid. She is a solid unit. She is really good against the mono reds. She can attack disable with her skill 2. She has Rupture on her skill 1. It's an AoE Rupture. Really, really good. Also, her ultimate hits pretty damn hard, 6 out of 6, because of her passive. I believe her passive is that she raises, I believe her attack. I think it's attack. I'm not too sure off the top of my head, but I believe it's her own attack by like what, 6%, and it has a cap of 8. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, just let me know in the comments below. But I think it's something like that. So like she can hit really, really hard. So she's solid. If you want to move her up to S, I wouldn't be against it, but I don't think she is. I really think she's just a solid A. Like she really is just a solid A tier unit. So she's good. She's good. Arthur, I was debating on putting him in S. I might move him up to S. I don't know. I think I will. Yeah, you know what? I think I am gonna move him up to S, because now that I think about it, his kit is really, really good. He can stun on his skill 1 when it goes to rank 3. He crits often, more often than Zeldris does. He can attack disable. He has 7 on his ultimate. His crit damage goes up every ultimate orb. Same thing, like it's the same passive as Green Fairy King. It's just that it's crit damage instead of crit chance. So he's good. He's good, especially with the support units that you can run with him. He'll be amazing. So, yeah, I will put him in S tier. I think he is S tier. Yeah, he's good at S tier. I don't know why I put him in A. I guess I really wasn't just thinking all of this, and then when saying it, it's just like, yeah, he's probably S tier. So Arthur can stay there. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me. Okay, so Mikasa. I know people are going to be upset about this one. I know they are. Mikasa is probably just A tier. She is more for endgame, like, long-term PvP matches, if that makes sense. So what I'm trying to get at is, off rip, she's not that great. You have to, first off, the bad thing about her passive is the enemies, like the allies, have to be hit. So enemies have to literally hit your teammates for her passive to like proc. So that's the bad thing about it. They can't hit her. They have to literally hit the teammates. So that's the bad thing about her passive. But if it does stack, which will take like a couple turns in the PvP, again, that's why I'm saying she's a long term, then she can be really, really good, because she's getting, I believe it's 3% to all stats, not just her basic, all stats. So she'll be insane when the enemy hits your entire team. So again, really, really good. When she does her ultimate, then she's really crazy too. But yeah, I think she's solid A. I'm not moving her up S tier. Again, this is just my personal opinion, right? I'm not moving up to S tier. I just don't think that a majority of the people are going to want to wait that long, unless you're doing like a showcase video on her or something. Like, she's not like that great. She's solid. She is a solid unit. She's not that crazy though. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep her at A tier. I mean, she has secret technique damage, but again, that's pretty like, it's not that impressive. It's pretty underwhelming actually, because it's on her skill, so it's not that great. Plus, it's RNG based, and it's just a lot to take into consideration. So yeah, she's a solid A. So then we get to the B tier units. B tier units, they're decent. They're decent. They just don't do like too much, if that makes sense. So like Elizabeth and Hawk, their main thing is to solidify. With Kyo here, you can get, because I seen a picture that Kabuki posted on Twitter, and he got like, I think it was like eight stacks of the solidify. So that's resistance plus 30% per every solidify. So she's pretty crazy. When she has a lot of debuffs, or the enemy has or the team has a lot of debuffs on them, right? But other than that, she's decent. You know what I mean? You could run her, but there's just so many like other options you could use besides her. Gallon, unfortunately, Gallon aged a lot. He's still solid, but he has aged like a lot. But I guess with Green Halloween Galther, I suppose you could run him, because Green Halloween Galther is like literally has some of the same skills as Red Galther. So if he ranks up, he'll petrify him or whatever. But again, with Zeldris here, yeah, I don't know. I think he's just decent. I don't think he's like, I don't think he's too good. I don't think he's too bad. I think he's literally just decent where he's at. So he'll stay at B tier. This Jericho, honestly, I was considering moving her down to C tier, but I think for like just, I think she has a good thing going for her, because she does have explode single target, which is okay. She has a skill which decreases HP related stats, which is okay. And then her ultimate, obviously, is spike, and she's, really good with a crit chance. But I mean, other than that, she's really just pretty much used for like Red Demon. And PvP, you're not going to see much. I don't even think you'll see her at all, in all honesty. But if you have her, she can be decent, right? She's not going to like straight up one-shot anybody, but if it's a long-term match, like, she'll be good. But if it's a short-term, she's probably gonna get stomped out. I'm just being honest with you guys. So yeah, Melascula. Okay, Melascula. I think solid B. I think so. I did do a showcase on her, but that was with the rule, and she was like amped a slightly, not by too much, but it did help. I think the main thing with this Melascula is that her second skill, which is like the AoE detonate, can be crazy good, because that's damage per ultimate orb in the enemy gauge. So if they all have ultimate gauge and you have like a level 3 skill 2, it's gonna like do crazy damage. Her skill 1's kind of like mediocre, doesn't do much, and then her passive skill is okay, I guess. It's just 1%, yeah, like 1% per orb, right? It increases her stats by 1% per orb in your gauge and the enemy's gauge. So she's okay. She's decent. I wouldn't put her up higher. I don't think I'd put her below either. Slater's decent too. He has got, like, he can crit. If the enemy has 1 gauge. He did get like buffed on JP because Sever went from 2 times to 3 times. So honestly, if Global had given him this, I think I might have moved him up to A. But Global didn't. We're still 2 times with Sever, so unfortunate, but Slater's good. C tier. These are units where I just think you can't in the current meta, you just can't run them. Like, you just can't. First off, you're not using Halloween Elaine. She's very exclusive. She won't be back till next year. So if you don't have her, I mean, I wouldn't even sweat it. Her support kind of is like outdated anyway, but she can be useful. Galther, not the craziest unit either. His skill 2 is really good. He has weak point AoE, but again, it's an AoE, which is kind of like bad going up against Meliodas. Plus, since it's an AoE weak point, it won't do as much damage as a single target one, obviously. So you got to keep that in mind. Also, he can, what is it? I think his skill 2 disables, I think it disables buffs and debuff skills. I think so, which can be okay, but it's just, yeah, no. That Elizabeth, they literally only use her to die, and so I guess she's worth something, so I put her in C tier. But if you're really like using her, she can disable debuff and buff skills. She can heal, and she has, I guess, a somewhat of a good kit. But literally, they just use her to die. Like, she's bait. Okay. Ban's this in the same position as probably Galther. He has a skill 2. His skill 2 decreases defense related stats, right? And then his skill 1 cancels stances. Unfortunately, nowadays that's not the best. He also has snatch, but again, not the best. And his passive is kind of mediocre. He just has 50% of the enemy's defense. It's not that great. Just not. So again, not gonna use him. Merlin, same thing. She's honestly, you could possibly put her in D tier, but I put her in C tier because she, alongside Kyo, she's actually not that bad, right? Alongside Kyo, you give her someone who can debuff the entire team a lot of times. She's not terrible because her passive works on debuffs, but that's the problem. The passive works on debuffs, and it's a low like debuff thing too. If it were like attack related stats by 2%, then she'd be a lot better. But it's only attack, and it's just not the craziest. And then she can decrease skill rank, so I guess that's good too. But you're just not gonna see much out of this unit, in all honesty. So yeah, she's a solid C tier. Rimuru, yeah, Rimuru's definitely C tier. If you want to put him below, I wouldn't be against it. But I just have him here because 1, he has rupture on his skill 1, and then he also can, what is it? It's not a taunt, but it's like it's like what Red Band has, right? Where you can't be debuffed and you get a certain amount of HP back. So that's pretty cool. He also stuns on his ultimate, so that's pretty useful. But his pass is pretty garbage, so it's C tier. Now D tier units, you just can't use them. Unfortunately, you can't really use them. Hendrickson, no, no. Like, this blue Hendrickson is just not that good. Maybe when the game first came out, he was amazing. Like, he wasn't even really amazing in all honesty. He was just okay. Now he's just bad, in like every sense of the word bad, because you can't do much with him. Well, he has like ignite and then lifesteal, but again, it's pretty weak. He doesn't really have anything for his kit going. Milliam's trash. I'm not even gonna go over her. Like, she's just like trash. Then we got blue brawler Ban. Again, his passive skill, I like his passive, but it literally relies on him not getting hit. If it was like attack, it is attack related stats, but if it were like I don't know how they would change the passive, but like, I don't know, but it just heavily relies on him not getting hit. So that's why I have him at D tier, because literally the only thing saving him was the passive, but now it's just like everyone has AoE attack, so just not going to use him. So unfortunately, can't be used. Blue Matrona Diane's not that great either. She has Rupture on her skill 1. She can disable buffs and debuffs, but again, her kit is outdated, in all honesty, and plus she doesn't have the best stats. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put her at D tier, and she's just really a linking partner with King. So that's all she's for. And then the trash units, you literally can't use Jenna. And you can't use Jenna, and you can't use King. Jenna, no, I can't even save her. You can't use her. Literally cannot use her. That's why she's only used for demons. And then this blue Fat King is no, you can't use him either. Not a good kit going for him, unfortunately. It's just unfortunate. because like these some of these units, if they have like, let's say if Dokkan, if they take ideas from Dokkan and they give them awakenings or something, then they could possibly be good. But I mean, otherwise, no, you can't use them. Like literally, tell me what units you use other than let's say SS2B. Like, you cannot tell me you use C tier, D tier, and trash units. You can't tell me you can't sit here and tell me that you like literally run Merlin or you run Hendrickson on your team for every time you go to PvP. Just not realistic. Like, just keeping it like real with you guys, it's not realistic. So don't like crucify me in the comments for this tier list. Blue is just such a underwhelming, like, you know what I mean? It's so underwhelming. Until we get more units that JP has, it's gonna just be underwhelming. I feel like literally you only see King, Lilia, Blue Demon Meliodas. You don't really even see Zeldris, Arthur, and Easton that much anymore. You don't see really, you don't see much of these units. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You don't see them. Maybe in a rare like occasion you see Galen or Elizabeth and Hawk, but Easton isn't even ran that much anymore. Diane isn't ran that much. I haven't seen a Mai actually since the collab came out in PvP, which is weird. Mikasa, I'll see her like once in a blue moon. Jericho, don't see her. Melascula, I see sometimes, I guess, like just on a rare occasion. Slater, no, I don't really see him either. So yeah, like you literally only see King, Lilia, Blue Demon Meliodas. Like that's all you see. It's sad. It is sad because blues have very, like, these characters can be good in PvE, but in PvP it's just sad because no one uses them. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. Again, not much else to talk about. These units are I think in their rightful positions, but again, it's opinionated. If you guys have any questions or if you guys have, you know, any concerns or whatever, leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of the tier list. You guys think it's a good tier list? Yeah, but just let me know in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Grand Cross content. And yeah, man, with that, I will see you all in the next video.